I don't want.
All right, everybody, welcome to the February Steering Committee meeting. We'll get started. First thing we want to do is approve our minutes, so I'll call on Vice Chair Pettis-Reed.
Mr. Chairman, I have read over our minutes. I did not find any problems, so I'll make the motion that they be approved.
I have a motion. Do I got a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, there's no public comments, so I'd like to announce 2 Agriculture Advisory Board vacancies, 1 farm woman, 1 farm man, 2-year terms, January 2025 to January 2027. Next is we need to confirm Jason Beavers for the Planning Commission vacancy to fill a retiring member's team. The term ends August of 2027. Mr. Beavers, you want to come up, please?
Hello, I'm Jason Beavers. I am Vice President of Land Acquisition for Old South Properties. I guess a little background on me. I've worked in Planning and Codes Department, City of Laverne, probably from about 98 to 2005. The last 19 and a half years, I've done land acquisition and land development for Old South Properties.
Any questions? All right, do I have a motion to confirm? Commissioner Reed?
Mr. Chairman, can I say something?
Sure.
Serving as chairman of the Planning Commission, I would like to say that we are in the middle right now of dealing some things within this county. And I think it's important that when you have a planning commission as we do, we have a lot of diversity on that planning commission. We have engineers, we have farmers, we have individuals that have worked in the service area, we have some builders, we have a little bit of everything on there. And I think a person of the experience that Mr. Beaver shows and what he has done over the years, I looked at his resume. I've also had a chance to talk to Mr. Beavers. And I think his experience and what he has there could be very vital to add to the diversity of our Planning Commission, and I look forward to working with him.
Yep. So I got a motion and a second. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Beavers. All right, gentlemen, next is the real estate transfer fee resolution. This is being brought to the state by Senator Jack Johnson. This is also being brought to the House by Pat Marsh. I apologize. Anyway, so this is being brought to the House and the Senate. What this does is raise our transfer fee up to 0.50. This will generate millions of dollars for us. Can y'all hear? Okay, so generate millions of dollars for us, and we have 2 heavy hitters that are backing this. So I'm pretty excited about this. Pat Marsh asked me to give a resolution, so I am offering this resolution to you, and you can see it on your iPad. And if you have any questions, if you'd like me to read it, I will. If not, I'll entertain any questions on this. All right, what it is we've imposed a tax of 0.37 per $100 of value for the privilege of publicly recording documents and evidencing all transfers of realty, whether by deed, court, deed, decree, partition deed, or other instruments evidencing transfer or interest in real estate. So they're wanting to raise this from 0.37 to 0.50. So that's what this bill is. So I need to, if we don't have any discussion on this, do I have a motion to approve this? Got a motion? Do I have a second? Second?
Just real quick building on that. So this also is requesting
that the state law be amended to have more of the money that the state collects go back to counties. And that's what you were getting at. I just wanted to clarify that portion of it, because right now, Will, I'm looking at you, do they share any with the counties? A collection fee. This is asking to share a lot more, just like you said.
Yes. All right, I got a motion and I got a second. Let's do a roll call on this, please.
Commissioner Kush,
Yes.
Commissioner Beverly,
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo,
Yes.
Commissioner Rather,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
All right. Next is our real estate transfer fee resolution. I'm sorry, we just went through that. Our school facilities facts, can't read that, tax discussion. This is being taken off because Tanya is not ready to present this, so we'll move this till next month. Okay, next is our lobbyist report, so Will Denami.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the steering committee. How are you? It's a pleasure to be here today. I hope everybody's enjoying the beautiful weather. I certainly was on the way in. I've got some positive news I want to share today. The things that we've been talking about, and thank you for your passage of the resolution on the real estate transfer tax. But the things that we've been talking about, we're starting to see some success stories. And I want to talk about last week. One of the components that we've discussed has been part of our goal here in trying to help Rutherford County. One of it was the sports wagering money, and that was passed last week. So that will turn into $25 per pupil per year. So that's a part of the discussion that was passed last week. There are a lot of other things that took more of the headlines, but that's significant for Rutherford County. And if I can, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just touch on some of these other items, including the mineral severance tax. We've got a bill number now for that. That has been filed. And the mineral severance tax, all the parties that I've talked to, Mr. Chairman, have said they're in agreement for that. If this goes through as proposed, this would generate about $175,000 starting July 1. That money is going to be earmarked for the highway department, but that money will grow over time with the schedule. It'll go up another 5 cents in 2030 and another 5 cents in 2035. So that puts it on a schedule. I think last month you've already passed a resolution in support of that. The real estate transfer tax, that's House Bill 649. Mr. Chairman, as you alluded to, Speaker Pro Tem Pat Marsh is carrying that in the House. There are I expect to see a lot of co-sponsors on this legislation in both the House and Senate. There are a lot of groups, counties and otherwise, home builders, road builders, groups that are in support of this. And the language is out. The way the proceeds are to be spent can't be on recurring personnel costs, but it has to be on infrastructure. So half of those would have to be roads. The other half would have to be on infrastructure. That's going to, on average, turn into about $9 million recurring for the county. So that bill is in motion. We hope to see, maybe it'll be announced next Monday night. I don't know. If not, it may be in legislation, but we're very hopeful to see something around excess lottery money that we've discussed in the past. So we're hoping to see something in the next week on that. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I want to mention a bill by Representative Stevens, which is House Bill 330, which would help not only Rutherford County, but it will also help the fast-growing cities within Rutherford County. And this bill deals with shared revenues which are done based on population. And since Rutherford County has been, and the cities within Rutherford County are such fast-growing across the state, this would benefit them because the update would be annually, and you wouldn't have to go through the expense of waiting every 5 years and putting on a special census. So that bill, I think, would be very helpful to Rutherford County as well. And I want to thank Representative Stevens for that bill. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll take any questions.
What is the bill number for the mineral severance tax?
House Bill 695.
Got a Senate yet? Got a Senate bill?
No. It'll be Senator Reeves who's going to file that.
All right. Any questions? Chairman Phillips?
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot. It may be a question that you can't answer, but it's a question that's come up to several of us just within the last few days. The mineral severance tax. It's basically just for rock quarries. Is that correct?
I think so. I think basically, yes.
Well, since you said I think, probably you're not going to be able to answer the next question, and I hate to put you on the spot, but there are developments, some large developments that are moving dirt and rock and moving it outside of the county. Does that count?
Let me check into that because I don't know for sure. I know there's also another question about in Smith County, there's a zinc mine and there may be some other affected facilities across the state, so I'm not 100% certain. Let me get back to you if you don't mind on that.
Okay, if you would, I would appreciate it. There were, once again, some citizens that have asked that question because of some observations that they've made about some of the property that's being developed now is rocky, and there's a lot of excavation that's going on and a lot of trucks that are, from what I've been told anyway, are leaving the county. So I'm just wondering if that kind of serves as a quarry or not. I understand that there's some type of a processing situation that kind of sort of needs to go on too with those quarries. So I'm just wondering if it pertains to something other than a quarry, and if so, are we, Mr. Chairman, maybe we could look into the possibility of doing something like that. There's, once again, some questions that have been asked of me, so I'm asking you if you could maybe even get with Nick or something and get back with us whenever.
Sure.
Thank you.
Questions? Chairman Johnson?
Can you elaborate on, is there any formula as far as the revenue is concerned? Is it going to be divided out, kind of like the wheel tax? Or how's that going to be handled?
On mineral severance? Yeah, mineral severance is based on where it comes from. But I'm going to find out specifically if you're moving it from one county to another and it's destination based, if there's a change to it. I don't know, but I do know the money is earmarked, and currently it is earmarked for highway, but I will find out if there's any other distribution. I know that there's a little complexity when it comes to some counties have a private act, and I know that there's also some question about things that are not, minerals that are not used in creating roads. And so I'm going to get clarity on those items, and I'll get clarity and then follow up with Nick as well. So.
What I'm having reference to is, like on the wheel tax, 40% of it goes to the school system, 30% of it goes to the general fund, and 30% goes for the highway department. So I didn't know whether there's any kind of formula out like that or not.
It's 100%. So it's
Highway department gets 100% of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And so,
that's for infrastructure and okay, thank you.
And where that's going to be a little bit complicated are where there's private acts and it's not 100%, because I believe this legislation is in fact going to override those private acts and make it 100%. But that is the proposal, as I understand it, Mr. Chairman, is 100% for highway.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Will. Next is our HR report, Ms. Stevenson.
Of help. I need all the help I can get. So if you look at the HR section, on there is one that's called RC, and it's domestic violence, sexual violence, and dating violence policy. Sari is the domestic violence coordinator, and recently she has a STOP grant, and one of the conditions of the STOP grant is special language around this policy. When we did the employee handbook, we put these items in the policy, but they want specific language, and so they gave us asking for approval of the policy the way they want it, and then her employees will just sign this whenever they're hired, and once it's approved, they'll sign it now, but new hires up on hire will sign it as well. Policy they sent us, was appropriate.
Have a motion, I got a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? All right.
So my report is going to be a little bit shorter tonight than normal, and I'm going to explain. So last year, well, for the last couple of years, every time I give a report, I always tell you it's a living document, and we have to go in because the end of the month is so close to the day I come to this meeting that all of our information's not in. So what will happen is in March, the March meeting, I will have all the data completed for the January, and I will give you the January report, unless you want me to continue as we have been and just keep updating it every month. So I'm asking how you prefer to receive it, if you want to wait till January till it's complete, or if you want me to send it the next month, so that you have readily available data. So do you guys have a preference as how you would like that moving forward?
I believe the next month would be adequate. Everybody in agreement to that? Good.
So on your iPads, I do have the job postings and the vacancies that we have. And so the one that says job postings actually tells you by department how many job postings they had in the month of January. To the right of it is what position was posted. Is it still actively posted? We try to give you extra information, how long it's been up, what department that position was for, and how many applicants they received. Now, some of the departments have already hired from these postings, so we also listed that for you. Of the job postings that are out there, has anybody been hired from any of these applications we received? So far we have received in the month of January 1,001 applications, and 21 people have been hired from those applications, but we still, as you can see, have several job postings out there that have not been filled. So are there any questions, or is there any way you would like to see this information other than the way I gave it to you? Next report, if I can get back without missing. Vacancy report, and this was as of today at noon, so we had some changes after that, but this is by department, the number of vacancies we have and the job titles. And I will tell you with the sheriff's office, it's a little bit different because until that, for all the other departments, once somebody is hired, I update my spreadsheet audit, it's real-time updates, but until I get the paperwork from them about the new hire process, because they do their own paperwork in-house. So some of these are probably already filled. I just want you to know that, because sometimes my report is, again, a little bit late, like a day or two late based on their hiring. So I know that I got at least 3 packets today after I did this. So I just wanted to let you know that, because it does show that they have several vacancies, but I suspect that several of those are filled. So this tells you the department, how many vacancies that department has, the name, when the position became vacant, because I always put the date that it was vacated, and the title of the position.
Questions? Thank you, Sonia.
Okay, that's it.
Appreciate it. All right, gentlemen, on your iPad, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, Mike. Motion to approve. Second. All those in favor say aye. Is opposed? Thank you, Sonia. All right, Commissioners, on your iPad is a list of litigation. Is there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, is there any other business? We're adjourned.